Are you guys ready to make your own seasonings? I totally cannot wait to start using these. Hey guys, my name is Vanessa and I am going to share 5 super easy homemade mixes, seasonings, that kind of thing that you guys can make with probably spices that you already have on hand. I have a big stock. I have a really good collection of mixes and seasonings on hand. So I figured I would go ahead and make some out of those that I like to keep on hand that I have run out of. So I'm gonna share a taco seasoning, an Italian seasoning, some homemade Nesquik, and you could make that a little healthier by the choice of sugar that you put in it. Plus we're going to do some homemade ranch and pumpkin pie spice. I know we're getting out of that season, but I like to have pumpkin pie spice on hand. It really does add a little kick to certain dishes. And I used to put cinnamon on my coffee all the time, but this past month I've been using pumpkin pie spice just a little bit. It has cinnamon in it, but it's been super yummy. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna take you guys down to the counter and we are going to mix up 5 different homemade seasonings. Seasoning mix number 1 is going to be a homemade Nesquik. So you could use this for just your basic chocolate milk, add it to milk, or you could try this as hot chocolate as well. And as you can see, very, very easy, just 3 ingredients. And then I'm going to keep it in this little jar that I got from Walmart. It is the Pioneer Woman brand. So I will try to link the containers that I'm using down below. I'll also have the recipes written out so you guys can have them. But for this, you're just gonna do however many servings that you want, but each one, and I say servings, just the amount that the recipe makes, however much you want to fill your jar. If you just want to make 1 to try it out and make more later, it's just up to you. But I'm going to be putting in 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 2/3 of my sweetener of choice, and I'm going to use Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. You can use sugar. It is a 1-to-1 ratio, just whatever sweetener that you want. And then just a little bit of salt, like a little pinch. So I'm gonna put that in here. I might go back and make the double batch, we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and get those mixed up in my jar so I have some homemade Nesquik on hand. Okay, and number 2 is a homemade ranch. So it's super simple, doesn't really cost a lot to buy. The Hidden Valley, yes, that's the brand, the Hidden Valley ranch packets, or you can also buy it in bulk at some of your bulk stores like Sam's Club. However, I really wanted to try making it on my own because I have a lot of seasonings on hand that I feel like I could start doing this a little more often. So we love ranch, we love it on salads, and I like to make it in a dip form for veggies. It's definitely an easy way to get your kids to eat more vegetables. So I'm going to make a double batch. So I'm gonna tell you a single batch, but I am going to double it up because I want to make sure I have plenty on hand, and I am gonna keep it in one of these jars again. So for this recipe, I'm going to double. So instead of a single batch is 5 tablespoons, I'm gonna use 10 of minced onion, then 7 teaspoons of parsley flakes. I'm gonna use 14, 4 teaspoons of salt, I'm going to use 8, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, I'm going to use 2. But I will have it written out in just a single batch down below. But I'm going to go ahead and get this all mixed up. That way I have some homemade ranch seasoning on hand.
Place that I can come home to. Yes, I am on my way. We'll put our differences aside and just enjoy this moment of peace and love and happiness. We come together to celebrate. Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about
Okay, recipe number 3. Again, I'm using a larger container. And I don't think I'm gonna double this one. Originally I was going to, but I think I wanna try it out first just to make sure we like it. But I love having taco seasoning on hand, and I typically buy it in bulk, but I am completely out. So I figured it was the best time to try and make my own with seasonings I already have on hand. So again, I'm going to use this container, and I am just gonna make 1 batch. And if we like it, then I'll make a double batch and make it more in bulk size because I love having it on hand. So for homemade taco seasoning, I'm gonna use 1/2 cup of, let's see, this one, chili powder, then 1/4 cup of the onion powder, 1/8 cup of ground cumin, then just 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of sea salt. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix all of these up in my container.
Yes, every time the snow is falling down and it is cold outside, we gather around the fireplace and no one cares about yesterday. My favorite holiday, it means so much more than words can say. And I claim Christmas is a magic day. Sometimes I tend to forget what glory this holiday represents, but it's fair to say that Christmas is a magic day.
Okay, so for number 4, we're going to make a smaller batch. I have these smaller containers here, again from Walmart, the Pioneer Woman, and I'm gonna make something sweet. So I'm gonna make my homemade pumpkin pie spice. And this is, again, these are all new to me. I'm really excited to start making these just because I have a ton of spices on hand. And I don't need all these different ones. When I have this collection, I can turn it into pumpkin pie spice. And I know we're going into December. Actually, it's already December and we're kind of out of the pumpkin phase, but I mean, let's be real. Pumpkin is all day, every day, right? I mean, I love pumpkin pie. I love the spice in all sorts of things. So I'm going to keep some on hand for when I want to add something sweet. It's really good over sweet potatoes. If you guys liked baked sweet potatoes, yum. So for this recipe, just gonna make one batch, and again, I will have it listed out or written out in the description box if you guys want to have it there and save it somewhere. But for this one, I'm gonna use 3 tablespoons of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of ground nutmeg, 1.5 teaspoons of allspice, and 1.5 teaspoons of cloves. So again, I'm just gonna put all of that into my container and mix it up.
A sunny day, but it's cold outside. It tingles in my heart. Breathing air that clears my mind. I'm off for a good start. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing. It's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland. I'm walking around making small talk with people that pass me by. I share a laugh, it gives me joy.
Okay, last but not least is an Italian spice blend. I have bought, you know, the McCormick grinder, which is really good. I use it on certain pasta salads, and I've really been liking to add this to certain meats that I'm cooking. Whenever I do raw meat, any kind of ground sauce, well, not sausage, but turkey, beef, or anything like that, I always add onion and garlic powder. I just feel like it takes the recipe up a little notch. Even if I'm adding more seasonings in later, I always add this while I'm cooking raw ground beef or raw ground meat. But I've been using Italian seasoning and I'm completely out. So again, I figure this is the perfect time for me to make my own out of seasonings I already had. I didn't have to go out and buy any of this. So I'm really excited to try it out. I am just going to use this smaller container. Again, I feel like I should make it in a big one just because of how much I use it, but I want to try it first and see if I like it. So for this recipe, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of basil leaves, 2 tablespoons of oregano, 1 tablespoon of thyme, 1 tablespoon of rosemary, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder, so just a little bit, and then same with the salt, 1/4 teaspoon. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all of those mixed up into my jar.
Everyone's having a good time. I hear those jingle bells, people singing about love. It feels like I'm a kid, like I'm forever young. And that's why I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing. It's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland. No, it's the time of year, winter wonderland. My winter wonderland. It's the time of year, my winter wonderland, my winter wonderland. I wanna sing about the Christmas on its way. A reason to hang around and celebrate this day. Everyone's smiling and it's snowing. It's the time of year again. I'm happy you're here, my winter wonderland.
Okay, I've got my seasonings made and now I need to find my labels. I know I have some, I just have to find them so I can label them. So I'm super excited to start making my own seasonings out of things I already have on hand, and that way I am set to go and I don't have like an overabundance. I'm not buying extra seasonings when I can make them out of the stuff I already have on hand. So I am super excited and I hope you guys give some of these a try as well. All right, you guys, if you liked this video and some homemade seasoning mixes, don't forget I have them written out down in the description so you guys can just copy and paste them so you have them on hand or write them down. Give this video a big thumbs up if you did like it. Also, if you have a homemade seasoning that I did not share today that you absolutely love and you think everybody would enjoy as well, leave that in the comments so people can get even more homemade seasoning mix ideas. Subscribe if you're new. I am hoping to post a video every single day this month in December for Vlogmas. So I will see you guys tomorrow in another one. Bye.